The moment of touchdown after a mighty 19 hours and 16 minutes in the air. A flight like no other, never done before. New York to Sydney, non-stop on a commercial flight. It began in the Big Apple. The Qantas Dreamliner crew is ready to set a new aviation record, and so am I. Now the adventure begins. I'm channeling the spirit of Mawson and Shackleton. This is an adventure. I take one step on here and I go forward 15 hours. We're now on Sydney time and we've got to survive it.
Hey, Mr. Kochie, it's great to have you with us.
I hit the head.
Are you all right?
Yeah, no, good, thank you.
6-8 today, so it's just going to be around here to your left.
Perfect, thank you. This flight is groundbreaking, and I was lucky enough to experience it as one of 50 people on board.
Well, good evening and welcome aboard this Project Sunrise research flight, non-stop from New York to Sydney.
This journey is a test flight into ultra long-haul flights and how passengers and crew cope with so long in the air. On board, there are guinea pig passengers who are being closely monitored by scientists, and every minute of the flight schedule is aimed at optimising this experience. Thanks, Maddie. Now, the food is different as well. The first meal has a lot of spices, a lot of caffeine in it to keep me awake longer so I can get on to Sydney time. That means we have to stay awake and no alcohol for the first 6 or so hours. Although I may have taken a sneaky sip or two. It is a challenge to stay awake, but that's what we need to do for the first 6 or 7 hours. Moves at 40,000 feet to keep us all awake and active, and the time goes pretty quickly. Thank you for that. Second meal, this is the one to put you off to sleep. Lots of white bread, carbs. You can legitimately have a glass of wine, and 12 hours to go before we land. So eat this and then time to go to sleep. The lights dim and the cabin is quiet as everyone on board gets some shut-eye. Ultimately, the aim is to improve our health while on board such a long flight and help jet lag once we're off the aircraft. Because there are so few of us on board, we're up the pointy end of the plane. But there will be cabin redesigns to improve everyone's flight.
And even in economy, we're looking at a separate dedicated space for people to exercise in. It can be used then for kids to play in. It can be used for a bar area, because it'll be there for 21 hours. So it can be used for multiple purposes.
For the pilots, this is breaking new ground too.
We need an extra crew member, so normally we have 2, but if we start to go further we need 3 and then 4. So we have 2 teams of 2 on this one tonight, and it's those extra crew members that give us the ability to go further.
Qantas believes this is the final frontier in flying, pushing the boundaries of long haul. It's been years in the planning.
Can I first of all thank all of the crew that pulled this together, the pilots and the cabin crew. Didn't they do an amazing job? I think they deserve a big round of applause.
18 hours in, almost there, and I've got to say I feel pretty good, largely because of staying awake longer to get on Sydney time. That was a bit of a struggle, I got to admit, and also the exercise classes have really made a big difference to get you moving. So overall I feel $1 million. For this flight to become part of the Qantas schedule, there are still some hurdles to be crossed. The aircraft manufacturers need to come on board at the right price. The pilots need approval. The plane cabin has to be right. And all that is not a foregone conclusion.
If we can't make the business case work, we're not going to threaten the future of Qantas on a big investment like this unless it will produce the returns and make sure that we can make it work financially.
If all that stacks up, this ultra long haul could be available for everyone by 2023. Now we're on the home stretch into Sydney. That was fun. Part of aviation history. 19 hours, 16 minutes with 70 minutes fuel left. Fuel. A proud moment for Qantas and the history-making crew.